Hey folks, MasterCoX here. Now this December, we are looking into a story which has gotten lots of people really intrigued since we did the Videl Marathon last year. This time around though, we're going to be charting the trajectory of another fighter that could have made it into the Dragon Team roster, but didn't get much of a chance to do so in the original series. Or any chance if you really want to be glib about it. I'm talking about Chi-Chi, Goku's wife, and her ascendancy from timid princess to awesome fighter, where we ask the question of what might have happened had she become a Z fighter. In the first part, we talked about the events of Fire Mountain from the original story. In that, Chi-Chi was enamored with Goku, but didn't get the spark to try and emulate her bow. However, in this tale, where things went by differently, something within her mind clicked in another manner, which meant that she now had gotten the urge to train and learn how to fight and defend her home, family and village. After all, she may be queen someday, and thusly she would need to be a strong figurehead, she thought. In the end, Goku accepted, as he thought she was pretty cool, and she in turn got brought in by Roshi, who wasn't lecherous if you were wondering, and set about the 8 months of training before the 21st tournament. Chi-Chi learnt a lot about discipline and had managed to toughen herself up, ready for challenges ahead, whilst also not becoming an aggressive and highly strung soul like she is in the original, to make fun of housewives as was so common in 80s Japan. Let's continue as we begin the tournament proceedings. After her morning motivational session with Goku, where she was beginning to understand how ki projection worked after months of physical training, she was ready to take part in the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai and see the fruits of her efforts at work. 8 months had been a long time away from her father, so when she saw Ox King at the grounds, being left a wide berth for his naturally intimidating stature, she was happy. But the moment he saw his little girl, all pretense went out the window, and he knelt down and gave her a huge hug. "Yo, it's so good to see you, sweetie." He then felt something off. The hug was different. "Whoa, you've gotten strong. Our hugs feel different." Chi-Chi looked surprised. "It does?" Now she thought about it, she had felt a little more tone than she had done before, and to get a comment like that from an outside source really exacerbated the gains and progress she had made during her time at Kame House. Before she could say that she was about to learn how to fire ki, Ox asked where Roshi was. Goku shrugged, said that he couldn't make it due to the fact that he was sick. Ox was a little sad to hear that, but he was still happy to see his daughter safe, sound, and fitter than ever. As the kids were getting on with the preliminaries, Ox felt a strange sensation. Naturally, since he was a student of the Turtle School, and probably one of its strongest ever pupils, I would assume that he could sense ki just like his master, at least to a degree, and something caught his senses. An old man with a grey head of hair named Jackie Chun caught his interest. He had just arrived, and was about to enter the small internal arena where the prelims were taking place, but Ox was about to stop him. His ki felt similar. He studied him closer and realised that Chun was actually Roshi. He waved over to him and shouted Roshi's name, which caught Chun unawares and had him stomping over to the big lug. "Keep your voice down, Ox! You'll blow my cover." "Cover? Whatever for, master?" Roshi sighed. "Remember one of my first lessons I taught you? About discipline? To anticipate stronger enemies? Well, that." Ox blinked, and then nodded with gusto. "So, I see. Of course, don't worry. I'll keep quiet, master." "Can't do any worse than just now. And fear not, I won't hurt them too much. The only thing that'll be bruised properly will be their egos." Ox nodded again, and gave the OK sign as Roshi resumed his trajectory to the prelim rings. In the lineup, Chi-Chi had managed to wheedle her way into the main event, easily beating the likes of Ranfan. Sorry folks, you ain't gonna be getting any undressing in the ring motif. Besides, I'm all about women feeling empowered, but to me, this scene, it really came across more as something a bit sleazy. And also, Nam should get a proper fight before Goku, if he actually gets past. So Chi-Chi goes to fight Nam. Before she gets to the ring, she's feeling confident. She had seen Krillin defeat Bacterian, and Goku's opponent coming up didn't look that strong. She had a feeling that all three of them could make it easily to the end. But just as she was about to enter the ring, Jackie Chun spoke to her. "Why are you fighting, kid?" "Huh? What?" "Take every battle with the utmost seriousness. Your opponent may be going all out, be unpredictable. Not every fight is in the bag, no matter how tough you are." With that, he just simply walked off before the girl could say anything in response. Weird. Now this is down to Roshi using his telepathic powers. Yeah, he had those at the time, to sense Nam's desperation and desire to bring fortune to his drought-stricken village. Yeah, Chun felt bad for Nam, but he also wanted one of his students to make it to the final, learning their lesson. It was a tough decision to make. So when it came to the actual fight, Chi-Chi did heed the old man's advice and fought with determination, despite feeling invincible. Nam could see the sincerity in her moves and praised her maturity for someone so young. Chi-Chi was respectful to his words, but didn't back down. She pushed forward, and it was a much closer battle than she had expected. Really close. She just about won though, thanks to Chun's pep talk. She had a feeling that if she hadn't heard that, she could have lost because of her arrogance before. Nam was sad, but he still got the capsule though of water from Chun as compensation, which made things a little better for the warrior. Sure enough, this means that Goku and Chi-Chi meet in the semi-finals. Now, sadly for our femme fatale, she would lose to Goku this time, since he has way more potential than her at this precise moment. It was a fun battle though, them knowing each other's tricks and tools, and able to work around them, but it ultimately came down to innate talent, and his Saiyan heritage unbeknownst to him of course, which gave the boy the win. Chi-Chi didn't feel bad though, she knew that one of them had made it to the final at least. She was a team player right now. So she and Krillin took to the stands, with Bulma and Yamcha cheering on their friend. Bulma looked at Chi-Chi, noting how much she had mellowed out since training with Roshi and Goku. She wasn't acting like an uptight princess anymore, just a regular gal. "Say, Chi, when this is all over, you want to hang out?" This caught Chi-Chi off guard, but she was not going to say no to some downtime after a rigorous competition like this. The beginnings of a good friendship outside of the Turtle School, perhaps. The final plays out like before, with Jackie Chun winning, but all three of the Turtle students learn about the means of discipline successfully. And when they report back to Roshi, who suddenly turns around the corner after Jackie had collected his winnings, wandered off, and Roshi was right there. Good. You should all be proud of your efforts, kiddos, in such a short space of time. But learn from it all the same. There will always be strong fellas out there, so be ready for them." And with that, he took the gang to dinner, and Goku ate the place out of business for the day, as to be expected. So in between this and the Red Ribbon Army saga, Bulma and Chi-Chi take some time away from Kame House to relax after the events. Roshi had given them some away time, downtime, some leave, to recuperate before getting back to training again. Goku and Krillin chose to stay anyway, citing they didn't really need a break, but Chi-Chi did. She may have come on leaps and bounds since joining, but she was still a little bit of a princess at heart, and so some retail therapy and time away from the battlefield would be welcome every now and again. Bulma and Chi-Chi got on like a house on fire, but the world of combat wasn't quite gone from Chi-Chi's field of vision. A bank robbery had gone down in West City, and Chi-Chi felt compelled to go and help the cops. However, the perpetrator had already gotten away, so Chi-Chi chose to go and look for them around the area as Bulma headed back to Capture Corp, keen not to get in the crossfire. This was something she could do, the princess thought. This wasn't too bad. She found the mook after zipping around the crime scene. A blonde-haired dame carrying a big sack of money. "Hold it, crook!" Chi-Chi exclaimed, and without pause, the woman opened fire. But her target was able to dodge all of the bullets. This caught Launch off guard. "How'd you do that?" "That doesn't matter. What matters is that I bring you to justice." Launch tries to reload her gun, thinking that was just a fluke. But this gives Chi-Chi the opportunity to pounce and knock Launch out with a slide under her legs, leaping up behind the crook and chopping the thief on the back of the head. The money bag fell to the floor, as did its previous owner. When the moment had subsided, Chi-Chi had surprised herself. She would never have been able to do that this time last year. "Whoa," she said to nobody in particular. She returned to the bank and the cops, with Launch in her hand out cold. "Wow, thanks, kid. Where did you find her?" Chi-Chi pointed to an alleyway about 5 blocks away or so, dumping the money bag on the floor beside Launch. "That should be all of it. See ya!" She then zipped off back to Capture Corp to catch up with Bulma, leaving the cops with Launch unconscious and a pile of Zenny. Huh, this was going to be some zany report to write out later. When Launch came to, she was in a prison cell. The last thing she could remember was some little girl in a costume, a karate dress or something, trying to play superhero, sliding away and then nothing. Now she was in here. She got up and slammed the bars. Hey, God! I ain't done nothing wrong! Let me out! The guard looked up and gave her a sour expression.
Unlikely story, Miss Launch. You have any idea how long we've been after your sorry hide? Too long, that's what. Now shut your mouth, or I'll add disorderly behaviour to your rap sheet.
Launch backed off, not wanting more charges pressed, and then spotted the TV. It had been running a piece of the recent Tenkaichi Budokai, and the rise of 3 young fighters getting nearly to the top. There, on that little monitor, was the same girl that she had met in the alleyway, and seemingly put her behind bars. What was her name? Chi-Chi. Well, once she got out of here, and she would get out of there, she'll be after her, and this time, she won't hold back. I don't care if you're a little kid. Nobody pulls a fast one on me. With that source of revenge squared away, we now get to the question. Does Chi-Chi play a big enough role in the Red Ribbon sagas to warrant much coverage? Well, not really. In these, the Red Ribbon, Blue and Commander Red sagas, she would be mostly playing support to Goku as an extra pair of hands and fighting muscle to aid him in his mission to stop the organization from taking over the world and using the Dragon Balls. As a result, I felt that it would be a little bit repetitive to cover everything here, as it really doesn't deviate too far from the original material. Needless to say though, her being there is a welcome addition to Goku's party, in that she's basically another Krillin in terms of power, and that is always handy to have in a battle. But one possible noteworthy moment here is that thanks to Chi-Chi's aid being by Goku's side most of the time, since she was infatuated with him, Bora is not killed by Tao, thanks to her acting as protection for him. But that doesn't mean that Goku wins against Tao, but it does mean that less collateral damage is had with the added person power. So you know, she doesn't get the added training from Korin at the moment, but Goku does use his newfound power to train with her one-on-one, since their friendship is slowly becoming something more as they grow up. He feels something about this one. Things then to start to pick up a little bit in the Fortune Teller Barba saga. Since Bora is alive and well, Goku doesn't need to desperately find the 7th Dragon Ball, but he would still rather retrieve it than have the Pilaf gang find it or something to cause more trouble for them later. However, since the Dragon Radar is busted, Roshi recommends that he go to his sister's place to train a little bit and use her magical powers to maybe find the ball with her crystal ball. Now, when it comes to payment for this, since Chi-Chi's dad has a lot of money, Chi-Chi offers to pay for her services, to which appeases the witch. I like you, little girl. What's your name? Chi-Chi. Ah yes, Ox's girl. I foresee great things from you. Of course she does, she gave her money. She is about to offer up the location of the ball when Goku lets out a sad moan. Aw, he come here on the pretense that he would get to fight strong guys or something, like Roshi said he would. But since she got the promise of money, she wasn't going to do that. However, Barba was in good spirits after getting money and decided to offer up her fighters for Goku anyway, since he wanted them so badly. She couldn't stand moany fighters anyway. And to be fair, Barba had heard a lot about this boy, wanting to see this for herself what the fuss was about. We then get the fighters coming up, as well as Goku meeting Grandpa Gohan again, hugging it out after years of being apart. This warmed Chi-Chi's heart immensely. This was his father figure. He seemed so nice and modest, despite his power in the ring. This galvanizes her desire to marry Goku one day. He was a good boy, with a good background and parent figure, despite being maybe a little rough around the edges, but that could be moulded in time. She made the right choice in life, to be by his side and to train. She felt she understood him more now than ever. As the two of them were watching, Barba leant into Chi-Chi, so only they could hear one another. How are you handling my brother's training? Chi-Chi said that she was coping just fine. She was alright. Barba nodded. Yes. Maybe you want to spice it up a little bit. Add a little more flair. Has he taught you that Kamehame thing? Well, not really. Goku showed me the basics, but I can't do it as well as he. Barba paused for a second. Maybe I could offer you something better. Before Barba could explain, she found the Dragon Ball on a crystal ball, and sure enough, the Pilaf gang had gotten it. They were slacking. So the gang have to go after them, putting Barber's proposal on hold for the moment. But not for long, because they're easily able to retrieve the 7th ball and thwart the gang. They then decide to use the Dragon Balls to bring back all those Red Ribbon Army had killed recently in the aftermath of Goku's push. And once Shenron had left and Goku held onto the 4-star ball like in the original, they returned to Barber's palace, where Roshi was waiting. They then heard about his next mission, to rough it out in the wilderness by themselves and see where their skills would take them. And with that, he left them to it, to strike it out from Barber's palace. Goku and Krillin bolted to seek out adventure, but Chi-Chi stayed behind. She was keen to learn more, and she felt sad that Goku had not chosen to ignore Roshi's edict of solo expeditions and chose to stick with her. Barber waved those concerns aside anyway.
Relax, girlie. That training's for meatheads. What I can offer you is something more enlightening.
Really?
I can tell you want to learn more about ki and light shows and stuff like that. Well, my expertise are more on the, spiritual side.
She then whipped some magical swirls and sparks to demonstrate.
This goes farther than what my brother can offer. Not only can you use your own ki, but you can use also external energy, summon them forth, to use as you please. Would you like to learn more?
Chi-Chi's eyes widened and she nodded.
Yeah!
Barber used her telepathic powers to appear as knowing.
Good. I can sense that you were stagnating, that you were blending in with that group. Just another pair of hands. With this, what I'm about to show you, you can be more than that. A truly unique member of that squad. And besides, I'm never going to say no to one-upping my brother.
She gave a toothy grin. And with that, Chi-Chi's magical training began. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. But what do you folks think? Do you like the idea of Barber and Chi-Chi training together? What do you think Chi-Chi can offer going forward other than just pure muscle? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I will see you in the next video. Catch you later!